stuffing so much during Thanksgiving. Why don't we do it more? Why isn't this, you know how rare it is to go into a place and go, of the turkey and stuffing, and can I get a side of cranberries with that? Is that a sauce or the actual berries? Which is that? Oh, and can I get that weird thing that my aunt brings? I'm not sure what it is. It's kind of wet and yellow, and there's little marshmallows on the top of it.
Oh, my God. It makes me so sick to think because, you know, this weekend BuzzFeed put out this thing where it was weird food that their family makes on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And some of them were so disgusting that I've been thinking about them ever since. They're so vile.
Yeah.
And this is just like people's family traditions. Let me give you the first one. They call this this one is called seafoam salad. Green Jello, canned pears, cream cheese.
I've never heard of this before, but I'm disgusted.
They kick it off with Thanksgiving, and it becomes the holiday food for their family. It's so gross looking. First of all,
Jello horrifies me now.
yes, and anytime people use it, I always think of somebody who's just like stuck in the 50s. Have you ever seen those old like 1950s cookbooks
Right.
where they're trying to put like meat in Jello molds and stuff like that? It's so gross.
There's already enough hooves in there.
All right, I'm going to give you another one. And call us at 844-ROCK-OUT if your family has a disgusting Thanksgiving side. This is tradition in this family's home. In our house, we make the unholy creation called cinnamon salad. It's Red Hots, red Jello, applesauce. And they serve it like a cranberry sauce alternative. This is Red Hots candy, red Jello, and applesauce.
I mean, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It's not okay.
How do you get there? How do you get to the point where you're just dumping candy in?
That's a good point. Like, at what point did you go, you know what would be good in Jello? Red Hots and applesauce. Like, that's so disgusting. And it's bad enough that, like, somebody is like, oh, I eat weird food, but you made it your family tradition to put these on the table. You
Yeah.
have a bad family.
You know what happens, though, is people are afraid to tell the weird aunt, no,
Right.
stop bringing that. You know, there shouldn't be a meal that has potato chips in it.
All right, this family sets out what they call toonies, and that's canned tuna mixed with margarine and shelf-stable jar cheese, and then they spread it on an English muffin.
Kind of like this.
This does sound like something that Chris Stanley would eat.
I don't think...
It's Thanksgiving. You better put out the Toonies app.
I don't know
Everybody-
what shelf-stable jar cheese is.
Basically, it's just like it comes in a jar. It probably doesn't go bad for 5 years because
right,
it's
that
just like so
horrifies me.
full of preservatives
Cheese,
and weirdness.
So you have to be-
cheese should go bad.
Oh,
Now,
God.
here's the deal. Go out to dinner. You know what I mean? Go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Don't
Ugh.
eat this.
All right, this one is called Meatballs in Brown Sauce. And it's frozen meatballs, a can of mild salsa, and then a jar of grape jelly. And you put that in a crock pot.
Oh.
So just that mild salsa and grape jelly.
Why the? All right, like salsa and meat, okay, but the fucking a jar of fucking grape jelly.
The fact that you said salsa and meat, okay, goes to show how fucking white trash you are. Urban white trash.
This is the best thing about it is she's saying that this is like a family member who married into her family and just was like, now in my family we always have brown sauce.
That's true. This is what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with the weird aunt. It's somebody who doesn't get it, but they feel like it's not Thanksgiving without this shitty thing on the table.
Yeah, I mean, people get stuck in those traditions. Like, you ever, like, see, too, like, sometimes people will put out, like, oh, we always do the canned cranberry sauce,
Yeah.
but nobody really touches it or something.
Yeah.
It's like people get stuck in traditions, but these are the most vile foods. Like, you wouldn't treat yourself like this any other time.
But cranberries are delicious, and cranberry sauce is fucking hideous. It's like if you just put processed fucking sandwich turkey next to the turkey and go, I know some people like this. No, they don't. No, they don't. There's been a big thing, too, because HuffPo has now gotten really weirdly into this spot where they're like, here's the best way to have Thanksgiving for the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that give the fucking snowflake haters all the thing that they want.
Yes.
And that's where we are now, because people won't say, don't bring your shitty fucking food to Thanksgiving. Maybe it should be made. Maybe I should be the Thanksgiving cop and go around and either find people or take their homes away if they're giving children this kind of food.
Now, a lot of these are Jell-O based, so this is called Coca-Cola salad, and this family uses orange Jell-O, cream cheese, Coca-Cola, and nuts.
Nuts.
Those textures don't go together.
These people
Those
are fucked
flavors
up.
don't go together. And then let cheese. First of all, already let cheese come to room temperature. Dust Jell-O into cream cheese.
Stop it.
Heat Coca-Cola to boiling point and pour over mixture. Mix and add nuts. Put into mold. Leave for 1 to 2 hours before putting in the refrigerator.
In the recipe, it says a large Coca-Cola is only 10 ounces, so this must have been from a while ago.
Oh, horrifying.
That's boiling hot fucking Coke.
Oh, God.
I didn't even know you could boil Coke. I'm being totally honest.
I've seen people do it as an experiment in order to show you how bad Coke is for you. Because you start to see where the sugar starts to separate and the water like boils off.
I always thought Coke was good for you.
No, it's really
delicious.
not. Although Coca-Cola salad is good for you. Pear salad is this family's tradition, and they do like a bed of lettuce, iceberg lettuce, pears, shredded cheese, cream cheese, maraschino cherry.
Maraschino cherry? Like, that was almost like a fucking dish.
But the cheese with the cherry?
No.
And cream cheese.
And they're saying it's a Southern tradition. Josh in Michigan. Hey, Josh.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I got something similar to the seafoam salad. My mom would make it. It was a green Jell-O. It had like a whipped cream topping kind of, and then they would put nuts and like grapes in it.
Yeah.
Why?
This is like some old school, like those old 1950s cookbooks that were way too experimental.
It was
Like-
Cold War food.
Yeah.
You know what I say to this when they bring it around? Okay, boomer.
This is some real okay boomer
But,
food.
hey, did you hear who was chanting "Okay, boomer"? So at the longest traditional football game of all time, which is Harvard Yale, right? And every year I try to watch the Harvard Yale game, but I was in an airplane this year with shit Wi-Fi. Thanks, Delta. So at halftime, right as halftime was ending, these kids run out on the field and they're trying to stop global warming by fucking holding up the game. And so the kids, because they're like, you know, rich kids from Harvard and Yale, the cops didn't come out and beat them down. They tried to plead with them, right? So this was actually even making people who don't even care about this football game angry, you know, and like, this is why we vote for Trump. So the announcer was saying, please, guys, you made your point.
Yeah.
You know, just leave the field and let us restart this game. And then they started to chant at the announcer, okay, boomer, which is ridiculous and stupid and hilarious. And you can see that the players, like, they don't, like, thank God they didn't do this at a Big 10 game. you know?
Right.
Or now what are we, Big 12 or Big 18? I can't even
12.
keep up.
Hey, hey, Camel in North Jersey.
Hey guys,
How's it going?
chilling. Yeah, there's this awful Italian dessert called struffola. It's like these these stale balls covered in some gross honey and sprinkles on it.
Yeah,
I know that food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people disagree with me on this, but I think that the Italians lose it at dessert. I really do.
I know you do. I mean, for me, I kind of love it, but I will admit that this is not their best work. It's just it's a very wet.
Ew.
It's like wet and crunchy. It's not easy to eat.
And it sticks to you.
It sticks to you, and it's kind of disgusting. Hey, Jason in Minnesota.
Hey guys, yeah, I don't know if it being from Minnesota, but I can kind of get behind a lot of these things, especially with the cheese. Put it with anything, it's good. But my aunt, this is something that I actually enjoy, but put some people off. But it's orange Jello, and she would like shred carrots into it and just.
Oh no,
serve
that's
it like that.
delicious. Are you kidding me? You turned me around. Shredded carrots
Thanks,
inside
guys.
of Jello.
Oh my god.
That's fucking vile looking.
It's visually bad, and I can't imagine the texture.
I always thought there was little shredded hooves.
Hey, Kathy in Pennsylvania.
Hi, happy Thanksgiving.
To you too,
Happy
Kathy.
Thanksgiving, Kathy.
So I was listening to you comment about thinking that jelly cranberry sauce is disgusting, and ironically, yesterday I watched a Food Channel program. It was like a Thanksgiving challenge, and Duff Goldman, and I can't recall her name, but she's another famous chef that's had a program on the channel. Both were talking about loving jelly cranberry that slides right out of the can.
Well, you know what happened to the Food Network, right? They
What?
fell
No,
to
I-
shit once we got to Flavor Town.
Yeah.
They used to be so great.
Yeah.
And now I can't turn them on because they act like 2 pounds of bacon on top of a lump of peanut butter is delicious.
It's epic, Ron.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
it is. It's
it
epic.
is, though. It really is. All right,
It's-
and one other quick comment. That recipe for that Coca-Cola salad is a really old recipe. It came out in the 1960s when Jell-O molds came out. Was really popular. I've had it, and it's delicious.
Now, Kathy, what part of Pennsylvania are you from?
Central Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you're having Thanksgiving and everybody's wearing camouflage. Am I correct about that?
No, we're not that kind of Central PA people. No, we're going to dress in normal clothing.
I don't know, Kathy. We're coming to Harrisburg with the Creeps, and for the first time ever, we're going to have a drop-in guest.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the reason is his family lives in Harrisburg. He's going to be there, and that's the only hint I'm going to give. This time, I'm going to give another hint later.
Okay.
Harrisburg boy.
Interesting.
Harrisburg boy. I shouldn't give it away that he's male. That was going to
You
be my
already have.
next thing. That was going to be my next thing. But I'm very excited because you never know how you're going to fit in with the Creeps. And
Yeah.
when we're done this segment, I'm going to show you guys the video from Chicago.
Oh, I can't wait. Hey, Ted in Providence.
Hey, buddies.
How's it going?
So I've got an aunt, my uncle's wife, who used to make this wonderful appetizer. It was like a sausage ball, like appetizer on a toothpick. Everybody loved it. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe, she, on a power trip, decided she is never going to make that again
Wow.
and has instead started bringing a minty soup.
What?
No, can I tell you something? I love this woman for saying
Why
to
is-
everyone,
Why is she punishing you?
you know, this
No.
is some passive aggressive thing. That thing you love is gone forever. Now eat your minty soup. I kind of want to try the minty soup though. I've never had a minty soup.
No.
Is it vegetable based?
It is. It looks very much like a chicken soup. It's like there's a lot of like maybe kale or like escarole, and some mint. So like you don't
Hope some
really
mint.
know what you're gonna get,
Oh my god.
and it's kind of horrifying. Like the first time you have it, it has like a chicken broth.
All right,
but
what
it's
was
got,
the
like, a
other
big aroma.
appetizer called?
She just called it sausage balls, and it was like they looked like little meatballs.
All right, let
But it
me
was
help
more-
you with this, all right?
Yep.
So as you sit down after the prayer, you get everybody to go like this. We want the sausage balls.
We want the sausage balls. We want the sausage balls.
And keep that going for an uncomfortable amount of time.
You'll never see that minty soup again.
Right.
I think it's just she just drops a couple Altoids in there. Just
Either
chicken
way, that
soup.
sounds good. I do want a sausage ball, though.
Yeah, that's.
It's a meatball made out of sausage.
I like it.
I love it.
Does it have the snappy casing
Which,
too?
by
I
the
mean, how
way,
does
it
it
just
go?
sounds like sausage.
My grandmother would make this odd hors d'oeuvre, I guess you could call it. She would she's quite old. She would hollow out a radish, so it'd just be the casing of the radish.
Okay.
It's
And I would help her do this. I would help her cut out the
Little
radish.
Chrissy helping in the kitchen.
And she would put a base of cream cheese and then like stew beef inside of the radish.
Wait, why in radish skin though?
I
Are you
don't
sure
know.
it was a radish?
I
Can
know
you
it
just
was a
look
radish.
up a radish and tell me if you're sure that you used
I'm 100% positive.
That's the
tiny
radish.
little
It's a fucking like little radishes, fucking cut out the middle, and then fucking put a little cream cheese, and then stew beef.
It's so weird.
Terrible.
Chris, would you make that for us this year?
Please.
I can try and make it from memory.
Our Thanksgiving show was filmed, and Chris is telling me that maybe the people have asked for this for so many years, and now you're saying that maybe this year we'll put the entire show out.
The full show,
Yeah.
yes.
We will know in a day or so.
Yeah.
But you're putting some clips up on demand soon, right?
Yes, there'll be social media, just certain parts of the show. But yes, the full
No,
show.
you told me it was going to be on demand. The clips.
No, the clips will be on social media. The full show will be on demand. And
I can't ever communicate
on
with
the
this
app.
team. I never know what's going on. I just always feel like that thing that we discussed is not true. It's something completely different. Yes, you agreed to it. That's how I feel every conversation goes. Chris, I wish you could have been in Chicago with us. A guy at a certain point we met. I mean, the amount of people that were telling me how much they love the Bennington show. People stayed around after to do the meet and greet for like 2 hours, and everybody was talking to me about the Bennington show and giving me a giant Midwestern handshake. So at the end of the night, I mean, they still really shake hands there. At the end of the night, my hand was starting to throb. And I'm like, I really can't be thanked anymore. But a guy came after me with a broken bottle because he follows your football picks.
oh God,
Yeah.
I'm
That's-
sorry. I don't.
What did you do this week?
I went to 0-3 this week.
No, you didn't. Did you
Yeah,
really?
0-3. I got the veto pick right.
But
Anti-veto
that
pick,
we
that
always
doesn't
said
matter.
that's the tiebreaker between the two of you, and
Yeah.
it's never
Yeah,
worked
it
out.
never makes sense.
Vito, where did you go this week?
I went 1-3.
1-2.
1 and 2.
1 and
then
2.
you won your anti.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is a loser for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be taking the same bath, but Chris Stanley,
Yeah.
we got to end it.
Please just give me the Thanksgiving games.
You had the chance on Thanksgiving, but
Yes.
you panicked over whatever fucking reason. But I was also wishing you were there to see how difficult it was to pull off this Chicago show. And the people who came there had no idea of it.
Really.
No idea. Nobody panicked. We stayed with it. This was a massive room with one light bulb at the top of an entire building. Here's what this patio theater reminded me of. Remember in the movie Triple X when he was in that Yugoslavian
Oh, yeah.
fucking EDM show?
Yeah.
It's where I felt like we were all night.
Hey, Greg in Chicago.
Hi, Gail. Hi, Ron.
Hey,
Hey.
man.
Hey, so I saw you guys Saturday. First of all, I loved it, man. It was awesome. You guys were all great, but Ronnie, you were the best. You were the most enjoyable, but you guys were all great. Yeah, when I told my fiance she didn't go with me, she was coming out of work.
Yeah.
And we happened to live 10 minutes from there. We were so surprised. We were like, I thought the patio theater was abandoned. I'm like, why did it come here? But it was awesome. It was great.
It came there because that's where the promoter booked, and he got a really great deal on it. We found out. I mean, this promoter was all but yelling, lock the gates. You just bought yourself a gate. The sound check was insane. The whole thing was insane. But go to our Twitter account, Chris. I want all the bring in the whole staff to see this. All right, so I'm not sure. Is it the creeps with? All right, stop it now. But that's what the place looked like out front. And if anybody wants to see this or on Twitter or we're putting it up, I don't know who this guy was who shot this and edited so much. Where's Andy? Why isn't he part of it? I said I want the whole gang here.
Andy.
Go get him.
My fucking team drives me nuts.
Sorry, I just thought somebody would be on phones.
Who gives a fuck about the phones? I just said I want everybody to see this. And now Earl's running back the other way to come by. Because you were going like this. Andy.
Well, I thought
Andy.
because the room's on in there. I'm fucking up.
What are you acting like? I'm trying to show something positive.
No,
and you're fucking going negative. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not trying to be.
I'm fucking telling you how
Yeah.
big this thing went off, and it's a reflection of our show. And why does it have to be a fucking... I'm so sorry. Fucking Butch, dude. You fucking work out all the time. Butch the fuck up. All right, I want you guys to see this, because this is a positive thing, a reflection of the work that you all do, okay? Go ahead and hit it.
When I see her tits, look,
She
my
has
wife
no
got-
tits.
they're fucking far compared to you. No,
How wild is
Dude,
that?
that is so cool.
That's fucking the shit.
That theater is so crazy.
That theater, normally they vampires perform rituals there. Now, this dude's name was Toby. It's up, by the way, I want you guys to see this too. It's up on our Twitter. The number of people who said to me, is Vito here? Because they heard his opening and without it was just so great. The people that listen to this show and come out, the things that they say about it was just so humbling and great. Kind of annoyed me that Vito took it as and tried to turn this into a negative when I waited all this time to show it to you guys. But I'm not going to get into that right now. You know, there's when he lost weight, he lost fun. You know,
Maybe it's just making you tense.
Just come back to the fatness with me.
Andy, I'm sorry that you couldn't hear him when he went, Andy. But that happened that way. This gig was so crazy and so fun. Chris Stanley, if you notice, we're smoking in the green room.
I saw you lighting up.
Yeah.
And I was very jealous. That's fucking fantastic.
It was so fucking wild. That audience was so crazy. Now, Voss was saying that it was his favorite audience of the entire tour. I don't want to be mean to Red Bank or Boston or Long Island because those were great as well. There's been so many great shows on this, and we're going. There's two more. Is the end of the.
I can't
this
believe that.
first leg of this.
Well, I should have listened to this song, touring in October, also in November.
Yeah. But I mean, it is so crazy. And then I had to think to myself, we flew out. We did Bergen County Friday night. Flew out on Saturday. Did the show. Flew back on Sunday, and I'm like. It's so weird to put that much into one set.
Oh,
What I mean?
yeah.
You're like, that's the reason why we're here. But everybody
Look at how cool all this stuff backstage
Well,
is.
can you
too.
also see how dark
It's
the theater is?
really dark?
And
It
like,
looks like you guys broke in. Like
Right.
you're not really allowed to be there.
it felt like that. It honestly felt like that. And when we found out the lighting thing, everybody was fighting back and forth. At one time, the promoter was screaming at the sound guy, and the sound guy was like, "Dude, I'll walk the fuck out of here right now." And everybody had to say, "Okay, let's just fucking do the show.
Jesus.
Let's just do the show." But this is like the first time that we weren't working with the other kind of theater
right.
places. You know, there
This is a different vibe for sure.
a different vibe. And the green room was like up over top of that thing as the people were walking around. And Bobby was hanging out the window screaming at people and they were screaming back. So that Voss did it, right? But instead of just having fun, Voss is starting just to do his act. And then he's like, "Oh, this is a great neighborhood if you're a bullet." And we're like, "That's your opening line." And he goes, "Don't worry, I'm fine. I got a lot of material." And then he was on stage. He goes, "This is a great neighborhood if your crime scene tape." You know, he goes to show you. Now, the other thing that happened, 5 minutes into the show, Voss is on stage, is the first act. A woman yells out, "You're a racist," and walks out. She and her husband walk out. I didn't even, I was in the back, but she did not even stay for the other act.
Check out if anyone else is.
And then, when we were talking, I mean, as soon as I heard about that, I laughed because who, this is like going to see a fucking band, right? You go to see the Foo Fighters and you hate the first band so much that you leave the show. But during the panel, I was saying to Voss, well, I agree with her. I don't even know what you said, but I 100% agree. And then Voss was saying, "You don't understand. I grew up with black people. I grew up in Princeton." And I go, "When did Princeton ever become a scary neighborhood? What, you guys taking on Cornell in gang wars?"
Man,
That
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 is so
crowd
cool.
is fucking awesome.
The crowd was fucking great. They love you guys. They love the show. They're like, "Where's Gail? Where's Chris?" No one said, "Where's Black Girl?" But I kind of felt like people
They meant it.
meant
probably.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that it was implied.
I
They
might,
asked him for
I might
everyone else.
go do a show with Earl on the south side of Chicago. All right, the woman, I guess, tweeted this out. This is what she wrote. Just walked out of the Chicago. Wait, first of all, she wrote, "If you like watching a comic," and she puts that in quotes, "bomb with a heavy dose of racism mixed in. Check out the Bennington show, Creeps with Kids, Ron Bennington, hashtag some asshole named Voss." All right, then she writes, "At Bennington show, just walked out of the Chicago show after it opened with a racist tirade by the extremely unfunny Voss. Discussed it, and it wasn't just one racist joke, it was many."
Jesus, she was pissed. She should have stayed.
Yeah.
She
I mean,
would've had a great time.
she should have saw where I was going at least. Could have been a teachable moment.
Exactly.
Hey, did you mean that comedy you said? No. Okay, never mind.
Okay, I'm good then. Thanks.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, this theater is
and I
fucking
love how
awesome.
dark it looks.
Hysterical.
Looks like you guys broke in there and you just have a kid working the spotlight or something.
No, this spotlight was so light that it was unbelievable. And there was a point during the panel where I thought the light went out, but a lady had just walked out and her big head stopped it. But look how wild this is.
That is so cool. That theater is really cool.
It really is wildly cool. And just to, the crowd. Oh, this is really funny. So my friend Wolfie, Mike Kaka was there, and I brought up the Molly's Cupcakes. Place goes fucking crazy for it. I think he got a bigger pop than Voss's racism did.
Hey, Grady in Wisconsin.
Hey, how you guys doing, Gail, Ron?
How's it going?
Sorry, I'm really nervous, so I'm gonna try to get this out here. Everyone tells me I'm always outspoken and I always like to talk a lot, but when I met you guys, honest to God, I must have sounded like a blubbering idiot. My wife and I, right before we got to the show, we found out the sex of her baby. She was very disappointed because she wanted a boy, but we're getting a girl.
You're luckier. Believe me.
They're good.
this is our third girl, so she was very sad, but and she's not much in the comedy. She doesn't get into it, but I tell you what, I thought the baby was going to come flying out during that show. During Robert Kelly, I looked over at her. I couldn't tell she was having labor pains. I mean, she was dying.
Kelly came out like a madman. Yeah.
You guys were incredible. The seating was great. We got front row seats. Couldn't have been happier. Even Rich Voss was funny, which was a nice surprise.
Well, not to everybody.
You guys are just on fire, and we appreciate you. It was worth the 300-mile drive.
I saw you tweet out about the baby. I thought it was good news. I had no idea that you guys were crushed.
I'm okay as long as it's healthy. She just really would like to have a son, but it's all good. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Please come back to the Midwest. We don't get enough good talent. So thank you guys.
We're actually doing the next GPS on Midwest music and Midwest bands because, like I said, there's an appreciative audience there.
Yeah.
That's so much fun to play to.
The big arena sound.
Thank you, my friend, and
Thanks,
congratulations on your wife's disappointment.
Thank you, guys.
No, I was immediately thinking, I'm like, I wish I had all you guys with me because that audience was so great, knows everything about the show. The entire night was just so much fun, just crazy amount of fun. And we were all laughing that somebody walked out on Voss. I just really don't know what the joke was. I know that he does. The thing is, you could say a lot of things about Voss, but obviously he's not racist. You know what I mean? The guy smoked crack.
You can't be. It's actually a known fact. You can't be racist if you have.
And just look at his sneakers.
And the quantity.
The what?
The quantity. Quantity.
Oh, God.
It's a hard word for me.
Quantity.
You said
Quantity.
it three times incorrectly.
Yeah. And it really, we took it as the quantity. I think he said that he spent $1,500 on some of his sneakers.
It's a lot, man.
I know when I'm hanging out at the stand or the cellar, it's just Voss and the young black guys with their phones just zipping through, looking at sneakers constantly. I'm not even making that up.
I'm pretty sure I have the sneakers he's wearing in this video, and I get really afraid to wear them because they're really expensive.
What do you think is going to happen?
I literally didn't wear them until the Thanksgiving show. I brought them in a special bag, and I wore them at the Hard Rock.
What do you think is going to happen if you wear them?
I spent all this money on these shoes, and I don't want to ruin them, but I also bought them to wear them.
Yeah, you put your feet in them, and they go on the ground. I mean, it's going to happen if you're going to enjoy them. Mike in Chicago.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How's it going, Mike?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, I was at the show on Saturday. Number one, Ron, amazing. Like, we laughed the hardest at you. The stories you were telling about how Pot Smoke is today, everything. I mean, you did amazing.
Thank you.
It was worth every penny. I wanted to clarify though, when that girl stood up and yelled at Rich Voss, she yelled, "You suck." which could be heard because that place was so cavernous. Like,
oh,
I mean,
no,
we
it
were up
was.
towards the front, and you heard it clear as day. Sorry, go ahead.
About how far back in the room was she sitting? Like halfway or 3/4 of the way?
So you know how like there's the last few rows, and then there was that. I mean, I don't even want to call it a balcony, but a little bit of an elevated section.
Yes, yes.
She was like, yeah, it was like right before there.
I did not.
And, yeah.
See, the thing is, I didn't hear. Thank you so much for calling, Mike, and thanks for coming out that night. It was so much. I didn't hear her yell, because I'm in the green room. But the funny thing was, Voss was fucking murdering, right? I'm not even making that up. Like, I was sitting in the green room. Look, Voss is crushing it, And then he came out, and I mean, look at that place. If he would have thought if he had any trouble at all or was losing, because he came off feeling great about himself. And then the promoter told me that before I had went up, and I was just laughing my ass off.
You suck.
Yeah, you suck, and you're a racist.
Dan in Michigan.
Hey, Gail, how's it going?
How's it going, Dan?
Good. Hey, I was at the show as well. I've been listening for a long time. I've never called in. I just wanted to thank Ron again. It was an awesome time. Me and my girlfriend had a blast. We were at the end of the line, and he spent so long there. All of them did. Got an autograph. I was the guy that Bobby Kelly took the popcorn from.
Oh, God, that was fucking hilarious. So he's eating popcorn in the front row during the panel, and Kelly is upset because he's not eating all of it. He was saving some to take home, and Bobby took it off him but just started eating some of the steak. Bobby can't stand if a take-home thing.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Again, it was a bucket list for me. You're the best, man. Thank you so much.
The night was so fun. It was really one of the great crowds of all time. I love that there's this anti-Voss thing hanging over it as well. But there was a certain point in this that with the crowd going so crazy at the beginning of the show, and then Bobby turns around and looks at me and he goes, "Can you believe this started at the underground?" We had that kind of feeling of like, this was an idea, and the first time Bobby told it to me, I'm like, I'm not sure you're right that these creeps are good parents. You know what I mean? Like, I literally said to him, I go, you don't get to decide you're a good parent. The kids tell you, but much later.
Yeah.
Somewhere towards the end of your life, you get to hear what a...
Yeah, your 5-year-old's going to say you're a good dad.
Yeah, your 5-year-old, your 17-year-old is still going to say you're good. But your 40-year-old might look at you and go, you know what? You fucking ruined my life. Prick.
Hey, it's Carla Finch. What's up, Carla?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Carla Finch in New York for the Bennington show, Thanksgiving in Chicago. So great to see you.
I listen, you guys, when you decided you were coming to Chicago, I had the tickets in July, and then I got the bonus of coming to the Thanksgiving show thanks to all my cousins in the Facebook group. They rounded up money and sent me out there.
They're incredibly sweet.
That's so sweet.
I don't know.
They are the best.
I had planned on reading out the list of that. All the people. I just can't pull it together yet, but I promise.
No, not at all. It's we understand. We talk about it. We love you guys. I was so freaking excited. I had a laugh headache. And at the end of the night, we were standing in the meet and greet line, and me and a couple other people that had met through Twitter had met up there, and we were standing there looking at the one light bulb in the ceiling.
Hilarious.
And it was just the best. So I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. I love to get into, take photos and see you guys and have a great show, and it was amazing.
I mean, I couldn't believe that people would stand around for like hours after the show.
Yeah,
everybody
I would have stood around for a day.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Yeah, it's great.
It was so fantastic. Voss's back gave out, according to him. If you notice,
well, he did sit the whole time.
Yeah, any of the meet and greet, he's sitting down. And then,
I tweeted out a picture of Bobby. A close-up picture of Bobby giving him the ugliest death stare.
It's a constant. It's a
oh my gosh, it was fantastic.
Those two love to hate each other, and sometimes we try to break them up in the meet and greets, but in this thing, Voss would not get out of his All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Peace. Look who we got. We got Bobby Kelly. Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
First of all, we're all old. We all have back problems, but we all stood for 2 hours to meet the fans, and he's just a piece of crap, Ron, and he's a racist.
I just found that out.
The racist thing with him seems to be growing, and I think that's the angle that we need, just to have this edgier show. That we have a responsibility. Well, not only that, but was it Toby who shot this stuff and put it together?
Yeah, Toby McMullen. He's great, man. I was trying to tell him stuff before, and I was like, forget it, just do your thing, because he's so talented. And when he showed it to me, I was like, oh my God, we actually look like something.
It really does look great, and it just shows how wild that night was, and that show could have fallen apart at any time because of the strangeness of that theater, and it was all fantastic. And
when I'm the voice of reason,
I know
when I had to walk out and tell Aaron, the promoter guy, hey, don't scream at him, just calm down.
Yeah.
When I'm saying that, there's something fucked up.
Right.
Something's wrong.
Well, we knew because of the line around the block and all. We were like, this show has got to work no matter what. You know what I mean?
But me and you like that because I like it because it's very punk, very rock and roll. The lights are going out.
Yeah.
They have us in a building that's completely separate. There's just ghosts and fucking broken windows and fucking just souls on the ground. I loved it.
I forget, somebody said to me, and we were in the alley in between these two buildings, right? And I said to somebody, I go, Hollywood spends so much money to try to build something that looks like this alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somebody was saying that the St. Valentine's Massacre took place right there. It was really, really so hilariously great.
Awesome.
And I even think out of the creeps, everybody went into that with a positive attitude because the crowd was so great that no one gave a shit how edgy and weird this whole thing was.
No, the crowd was, Chicago showed the hell up. The venue, we showed up and, would they have sun chips and carrots?
I know.
And I remember when I was walking out the door to the venue, there was actually somebody, I looked in a window of somebody's kitchen and there was just a woman holding a baby.
That's true.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
But it was so amazing. The crowd, those fans, man, they sat there 2 hours, not one smug face, not one. Everybody in line was happy when they got to us. They were just so awesome. Dude, and the Bennington fans, I have to say, man, they're the nicest, sweetest people in the world. I get emotional when some of your fans walk up to you and talk to you, because I'm a big fucking emotional basket case.
Right.
And some of your fans walk up to you and they're like, I just have to tell you, I've been listening to you, and you're just so sweet to them. And then there's Voss who sits down and in every photo looks like he's, somebody sticking a gun in his back. I'm not kidding. We have to do a montage of all the fan photos.
Right.
Every single photo. Ronnie, me, you, Jim Florentine when he's not talking to a long guy with hair and fucking tattoos for 20 minutes about fucking Warrant's comeback. I'm smiling. But Voss is miserable in every single photo. Miserable.
And as well as physically attacking the people for, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
Oh, he's like, does Leonard Skinner back together? You know what I mean?
There's one kid, I think he was so nervous he was shaking. Voss in front of him goes, he's got a wart on his hand or it's a booger. Watch out.
It's constant. And no one
sits.
Yeah. So much fun though, Bobby. And I was telling Gail that you looked at me at one point and said this is something that we had talked about in the underground, and this is where it came. And it's really true. And you've done so much work on this to bring it all together. But it's been so much fun. And now the first leg of this ends Harrisburg Friday night, and then Rahway Saturday night. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it is true. I was a little emotional looking out there because, I mean, Gail, you know too, because you were part of it. When we first did this. It was a couple hundred people at the Village Underground, and we had a blast.
Yeah.
And then to look out and see that crowd of
It's so
people coming to
amazing.
see us, and and like my agent saw that video and he called me up and he was like, why this store is awesome. It's because you guys are having fun. You can tell in these videos, and it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. And you can tell from what you guys are doing on these videos and how much fun you're having. And it's true. There's no ego involved. We're all having a blast. We put our shit aside. And this week in Harrisburg, I mean, if you thought Chicago had some racism in it.
Well, we're going to have a special guest.
Oh,
right?
yeah, we're going to have a special guest. We should fly that couple in.
Now, like I said, I didn't hear whatever the jokes were. Bobby didn't hear whatever the jokes were. But as Voss was trying to defend himself, we just took prosecution. You know what I mean?
Right.
We were totally agreeing with whoever had a problem with Voss.
But if you, the guy wrote out the jokes, like in text, if you read them, Voss is a racist. without the hat and the timing, they're racist jokes.
Right.
Without the slurs.
Yeah. Why is he sitting and yawning? Oh my God. You see all of us together hugging a listener, and then Voss is sitting and yawning.
There was one firefighter who came over and said, listen, I'm a firefighter for Chicago for some years. And, I'm very proud. Could you stand up for me, please? I fight fires.
That's what he actually said. He goes, for what I do, would you just stand up?
God. Did he get up for him at least?
He was forced up.
He goes into burning buildings.
Yes.
Voss can't stand up to get accolades for an hour and a half.
I think that's him trying to half stand up. Look at that.
He's leaning. And he looks concerned.
Yeah.
He looks like, oh, this could kill me.
And no one sits around and worries about merch more than Voss does.
Oh.
And then he's a nightmare to people the entire time that it's happening.
It's a nightmare. And even he complains that we have too much food in the green room.
Yeah.
They don't complain if we don't have enough. And then if we have too much, he's trying to, as soon as we start eating, he tries to give it away to everybody working at the theater.
Right, because he's worried. He's completely
worried about
he doesn't want waste, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't want waste. And then at the end, he loads up his pockets like he's going in the woods for a month.
Dude, we had Sloppy Joes we picked up so we could have them at the thing. But, North Jersey, Jewish deli, Sloppy Joes. And then he took some for the airplane, right? He was going to eat them on the airplane the next day. But they were so good that he kept eating them throughout the night. And it was like hating himself while he ate.
But he's in first class.
Yeah. He's in first class eating food from home. He actually said this, that he takes frozen water onto the plane because he's not going, and then he lets it melt and drinks it.
Yeah.
He freezes up, puts it like in a tap into a bottle. Then he'll tell them at the thing, no, you can have frozen water. You just can't have liquid water.
Holy shit.
And then drinks it on the plane.
He brings a cooler on a plane with food.
Yes. He
like
has
he's
a
an
carrot
iron
cooler.
worker. Like he's doing 14 hours on a building in downtown Manhattan. And he brings a cooler on the plane with a sandwich and snacks. And the frozen water keeps it frozen. And that's how he's a nightmare. He's a nightmare. God bless him, though.
I think the word that you're looking for is racist.
That too.
I mean, he is a racist. I agree with this woman. I retweeted her. I retweeted it.
Dude, you're such a fucking killer too. I mean, you went out on that fucking stage Saturday night and just ate it up. Just fucking ate that room up. It was so great. It was fun for me just to watch.
Yeah, you too, brother. I mean, it's fun for me to watch your fans of your show who love you from your show, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then they see you. I mean, guys, I'm not saying this because I'm on your show, Bennington. Bennington fucking murders. Like murders. Like I have to go in the hallway and like look at my notes 900 times because it's like following Billy Burr, right? And it must be such a crazy thing to see, love you from the radio and then to see you go and do 20 minutes of just slamming material is crazy. It's unbelievable. And everybody kills on the show, but Ronnie B, you're a fucking monster, dude. Fucking monster.
We did back-to-back standing ovations that night, you know?
Yeah.
And because, you know, when I came off, I'm like, oh, that was great. But I see him in his game face, like, fuck this, you know? He was down in the blocks ready to take the fuck off, you know?
I walked out, man. I was like, motherfucker, I hope. Because you never know, you know what I mean? But Chicago was such like my fans are his fans, and you know Ron's fans are our fans. That's why I love fucking doing this. And the fans are the shit, man. They're really. I mean, just I can't say enough about them. They're such awesome, good people. You know.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, it is great, and you know, I'm excited about this weekend. We're going to really race it up.
Yes. All right, my friend.
Bye, Bobby.
I'll talk to you later.
All right,
Bye,
peace.
guys.
All right, I'm going to give you another hint.
Okay.
On Harrisburg.
All right.
His family's from Harrisburg. That's why he's here. Not currently on SNL. Not currently on SNL. Very, very exciting.
All right. Well, I think of this. Pete in Illinois.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
I just saw you down in Chicago on Saturday, man. You guys murdered. It was awesome.
So much fun. We were just talking about that with Robert Kelly. It was just so much fun.
You guys were fucking awesome, dude. I can't explain how much it meant to me. I got to do the meet and greet with you, and I told you I was a dumb truck driver with the ponytail and the sports coat.
Oh, yeah. You were great, man. He was saying how important the show was.
I love
for
you
him.
so much. Have a great day. I just wanted to thank you for coming out there. It meant a lot to me, man.
Dude, the stuff that you said to me about being on the road and listening to the show and all, it really, really touched me too, Pete.
I tell you what, man. I listen to, honestly, XM. I listen to radio for 11 hours a day. And from when you guys are on, that's the highlight of my day.
It's
It
so
means so
sweet.
much to me.
I appreciate it. And he was choked up just telling me this. He was just choked up, and it was so sweet. And it's important for you guys to hear. That's why I tried to tell Vito when we tried to do this, stop being so negative.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking as hard as you're letting on. It's a positive, happy fucking thing that we do for a living. We're blessed. We're blessed to have this kind of connection with people. And then while he's telling me this, and he's choked, and I'm, you know, really moved, and I hear Voss say that, what do you sell harmonicas in the 1930s? Well, how does that even make sense? You fucking racist. Stop it.
Johnny in Chicago.
Hey, Gail. Hey, Ron.
How's it going, Johnny?
Oh, it's great. I was at that show on Saturday night. It was absolutely amazing. And I was sitting right in front of the lady who yelled "You suck" at Boss.
Great scene.
It was so hilarious because the thing was, Boss was killing, absolutely
Yeah, he was
murdering.
murdering. I couldn't, you can't hear what everybody's saying, but you can hear and even feel the audience behind the stage. And we're like, fuck, what an opening to a show. Because, you know, Voss goes off first, and a lot of times it's a slow climb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has to settle people down and get them, And
Oh, we were ready. Yeah,
yeah,
we didn't need
everybody
to
was ready
at all.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because we're all laughing, and right in between, one of his jokes and that slight little pause, you just hear her get up, and start yelling, "You suck, you suck!" And everybody turned around, looking at her like, "Who the hell is she talking to? This guy is muttering."
Did Voss even hear her?
Voss kind of stopped for a second, like, "What's that?" And then, she yelled it again as she's leaving, and the door opens, and he just went right onto the show. It was just absolutely amazing.
The funny thing is, like, he wasn't aware. Like, when I went up and said that I heard it from the promoter, he thought I was joking. He told me later. And then during the panel, we're like, no, this happened.
We thought she was joking. It's like, there wasn't even anything racist that was said. I don't even understand why she was. I mean, it got racist after that, because once Voss was like, "Oh, this is my kind of crowd," he really started leaning in with that.
Now, the other thing, he was asking one of the security guards. Now, we had all these security guys who reeked of weed, which I thought was just fucking amazing. Because the night before, it was like Bergen County had the most intense security I ever saw. Like every 6 feet, there was another dude.
Jesus.
Huge dude just standing there. I'm like, I don't know why we need this much security as I'm going to get a sandwich. And then the next night, the security was just chill, as you would say.
Yeah.
And then Voss was saying to them, "Is this racist?" And I'm like, do you realize that's the most racist thing? If you're going to start asking the black guy to mark your racism. Oh, that was funny when Bobby said that he retweeted the woman. And I guess somebody was also writing to me that the husband was... they're giving away some of his jokes. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's see. This is the stuff that defend Mexicans. The fact that Voss's daughter is dating a black guy. Voss's daughter lives with a black guy. Most racists don't have that in their life.
Oh, at least still in communication with said daughter.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right, he said he was fine to walk out. He wouldn't have yelled the way his wife did, but she was shocked and hurt by what was said. It just came out. Voss and others are free to attack me or my wife on this terrible website. I don't know if it's on a website, but it was disappointing not seeing Ron live. But I don't regret walking out. You could have walked out to the lobby, had a fucking Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Maybe something to calm the nerves.
Perpetuating damaging racist stereotypes is harmful and unnecessary, even at comedy shows. You could talk about race and it could be funny. Doesn't necessarily make it racist. Like I said, literally, Voss is not a racist.
No.
Whoever you are, he honestly works and hangs out with more black people than you do. You know what I mean? New York City is the most fucking integrated scene that there is.
By far.
Even the LA people come here and go, "Oh, I didn't realize how much, how integrated this city is."
And I think people from New York take it for granted, but everyone I know who in conversations about their city versus New York City,
right,
it's so much more segregated, without meaning to.
Right.
Just people just keep to their own neighborhoods, and if you find yourself in a different neighborhood, you're like, this is weird, and you don't really see that in the city.
The thing is, it's not that other people don't hang out with black people, but if they're going to pick up a black friend, most places go, "Hey, we're going to go pick up my black friend." You know what I mean? You have to point that out. Chill the fuck out, dude.
Don't say anything.
I have a fucking black friend who's going to get in the car with us. But here you don't, you don't assume one way or another. But Voss is taking the heat for it, so that's good. That part makes me happy. So Harrisburg next. And that's going to be a blast.
Yeah,
that's this Friday.
First time ever, a drop-in.
That is so
very exciting.
Controversial.
Oh.
controversial comedian. Have any of you guys figured it out yet?
I have not figured it out yet.
All right, remember what I gave you. Not currently with Saturday Night Live, from the Harrisburg area. And I'll open this up as a contest, okay?
Okay.
So none of you guys answer yet.
Okay.
I'm going to see how I want to do this. I'm looking at some stuff to pick out the perfect way to do that. All right, as we go to break, if anybody wants to guess, we'll send you into the pretty good prize closet. His name rhymes with Payne Willis. Payne Willis.
What could that be?
Harrisburg area.
Harrisburg.
Not
Okay.
currently with Saturday Night Live.
Okay, got it.
Name rhymes with Payne Willis.
Payne Willis.
844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. We'll send you into the pretty good prize closet. We're right back.
2019 it wraps up.
2019. I was going to say 1979, but it's 2019.
Yeah.
It is.
Holy shit, time goes fast.
Okay, boomer.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Your age.
Oh, that's even worse. Okay, older. All right. I said for the first time ever, the creeps are going to have a drop in. This is a creep who doesn't have kids, no longer, or no longer with Saturday Night Live. Is that what I said?
You said not currently on.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. Originally from the Harrisburg area.
Yes.
He also started to stand up in Philly. He was a Philly guy for a while. And then the last thing was his name rhymes with Dane Willis.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest here. We're trying to take some of the heat off of Voss.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this would be good.
Let's go to line 3.
Hey, James in Philly.
Hey, Gail.
Who is the drop-in in Harrisburg?
You guys were very brave for bringing Shane Gillis onto the stage.
Yeah. You're the big winner, James.
Oh, what does he win, Vito?
He's winning a signed copy of Wayne's World signed by Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
That's not
No, if you would have
Do
went
I-
swing when you heard the prize.
Do I make you horny?
That's the wrong one.
That's not that movie, dude.
My wife.
It's not even the same actor now.
Hey, Vito, see if you can look into this, because you're the guy who, you're the producer of the show who gets stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I would love for the creeps to take the mega bus to each tour date.
Okay.
See what the Harrisburg price is and the raw way. See if there's a Harrisburg 2 raw way, or if I just have to take the jail bus for that.
Do you guys want top deck or bottom deck?
Go bottom. Trust
I'm a
me.
top deck
Top
guy.
deck.
I love being in the bottom.
Why?
I
Face
don't.
down in the bottom?
That's right.
Power bottom.
I like being able to get off the bus faster than everyone else. I like to
Why?
be able
What's
to
your
get-
hurry?
Oh my God, I'd love to get off last.
I want to get out, vape it up, get back on. Look, whenever we stop at State College, there's not a lot of time.
Was that right?
Yeah, it's.
I've
pretty
done
quick.
that with trains where you're hopping off and you're smoking and they just start to go. They don't make an announcement.
Yeah.
You're going to jump back on the train.
It's fucking
No.
bullshit.
I'm like, I can't be left in Aberdeen.
I had that once. Me and my cousin were taking the train, and
All fucked up.
and we're smoking cigarettes, and then the train started. We had to hop on the train, and I thought I snuffed my cigarette out, but it was still on me. And then people started being like, "Something's on fire!" my smoking cigarette.
First of all, it's a train, not a plane. We don't panic as much.
Really.
The trip back to the city last night, I went to LaGuardia instead of where I normally fly, which is JFK or Newark. I forgot that they get into those corkscrew turns
Oh yeah.
at LaGuardia, and the people in the plane were like, people in the back were like, "Is this normal? Are we?" And I think we even circled it because we came in, and I mean, it was one of the most beautiful flights. You know, we were coming in over the Verrazano, straight over. I mean, I went
You
over
went
your
over my
house,
house. Yeah,
literally
that-
over your house, and right up the side of Manhattan. I'm like, oh God, this is gorgeous. And I'm taking some pictures out the window when most adults don't do that. You know what I mean? But the whole city is lit up. And then I'm like, well, we're going pretty far past the city now.
Yeah.
And then we come back
The
around
bank.
and back around again, and we're getting lower. And then I see it start to bank up.
Yeah.
And I hear this lady behind me going, is everything okay?
Oh,
Is this
God. Lady, shut
what's
up.
supposed to be happening?
You're not helping anything.
Dude, I agree with you. Let's ignore it. Like when we also came out of some big clouds. At a certain point, it just felt like we were falling and shaking
Oh,
back
God.
and forth. And like people were like, is this would he announce if there's trouble? And we're like, we ignore.
Yeah.
Stay with your phone.
You're powerless.
Yeah.
Okay? There's nothing you could do.
But think good thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're those all the flights going to LaGuardia go right over my house. You know,
Yeah.
like they're on a flight path there.
Yeah.
And so I downloaded an app that would tell you like what flight is above you.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Right.
like,
Flight tracker.
yeah, exactly. And we really enjoyed it for a couple days, and then I forgot about it, and I realized just recently I've been paying for that shit every month. I had got like a free trial, and I'm like, wait, how much am I spending on this plane tracker? I don't use?
$65 a month. There's a lot of.
This is steep. And then I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. I might want to keep it, but I'm like, am I insane?
You got to take care of line 3 now and give him his prize. Thank you. When Earl goes to get coffee, this whole fucking team falls apart.
He's like the glue.
He is the glue.
He's like black glue.
All right.
All right,
Come
boss.
on, bossy. You suck.
All right. It looks like that lady now is writing to different venues.
Oh, no.
Jesus
saying that if Creeps with Kids plays your venue 11/29, the opening comic Voss has a set that is 80% racist jokes.
That's not true.
Just
Not
one
80%.
or true, but many. It was disgusting. I hope you won't support such a racist act on your stage. This may not be the environment I want to bring Shane into.
This lady's got nothing else better to do.
Oh, stop it.
I mean, I feel like the walkout was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the walkout was plenty.
She made her statement.
I mean, we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And both Bobby and I agreed with her without even hearing his act.
But I also think 80%, that's false.
I mean, she got a retweet out of it.
Yeah, what more she want? You got the retweet.
That's what people are always gunning for is the retweet, not the like or the favorite or
But
whatever.
this is also the thing about complaints. Like, it's all right, you have a complaint, but now you're going around telling venues not to let him in.
How does that make you feel better?
He's got a new house and a child.
Yeah. You're taking food out of her mouth.
The other thing that was like a little sad is Luke Florentine was checking in with his dad about the Chicago gigs, feeling kind of upset he wasn't part of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know what that's like.
Yeah. That's
You're
how
like-
I felt the whole tour.
Is it a good crowd? Is it a cool theater? He's like, is everybody picking on Voss in the green room? You guys playing Connect 4? Bam, bam, bam. Voss was bringing up Foursquare as a game, not
What?
Foursquare, the app. You never played Foursquare where you put the ball into 4 different... I go, no, we play baseball in my neighborhood.
We weren't all in Princeton.
What it all? All right, there's a video up where a colorblind kid gets these glasses and he's able to see. Now, there's 2 different kind of videos the same way. One is the colorblind person finally gets to see color, and then the other one is the deaf person who
Getting the
gets
cochlear implant.
Both of them are made for one reason: to tear you up.
Yep.
Right? Put this on right now. I mean, this might as well be a Lifetime movie.
All yours.
Here's the kid. His teacher is giving it to him. He puts on these glasses.
It's cool glasses.
And now for the first time in his life, he sees color. Look at his face change, the color in his face as he's looking around. And there he goes.
Oh.
Fuck.
Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel.
I can't.
Now, there's this teacher hugging him who got him these glasses. Why does this work every single time? It's like a Hallmark card. I love it.
It gets me every time. I have the same shit with this and also pregnancy announcements where they're like telling you're going to be grandparents, or they're like giving the news.
That's a good one.
And it gets me I'll watch like a compilation of them. Where they're like 50 different families telling, oh my God, you're pregnant, and people crying. I can't take it.
All right, Chris, turn this back right as he starts to lose it a little bit, the little boy. All right, and give us a little sound right before, Chris, right before. Oh boy, you're not getting there before. All right, now turn up the sound.
Good people.
One of the kids laughs, and now, all right, there's his teacher hugging. Why'd you go back? Please hit play. Please, don't go forward. Hit play. Now, there's the teacher going over to hug him, and there he's crying. The teacher's crying. Now watch the kids that there's his mom, I guess, crying, but look at the kids sitting around him. They are completely ignoring him. When you're a kid, you don't want to see another kid crying.
Oh, no. They're like, I can't see you in this moment of weakness.
Yeah. And then you hear somebody go, he's crying. And then have to stop themselves because you see, this wasn't the time. The kid got to see color for the first time. All right, here's one where the dad comes home from on leave, right?
Right, yeah.
And they're at a ball game, and the kids see their dad, and they're just crying like, the dad's been gone for 8 months. They don't tell you, though, is he home for good? Has he quit the military?
Oh, shit.
Right.
Or is he home for 2 weeks and then they're not going to see him again?
Yeah.
Like, I can't watch those without thinking, hey, should you have waited to have kids until you were out of the military?
Yeah.
Where you wouldn't have to be away from them for 8 months
It's
at
really
a time?
sad.
War zone.
Is that a bad thing to ask? Like, hey, if you're going to do this, should you have kids?
I think it was around Veterans Day. You were saying, what if we did videos of them leaving? That would be realistic, and then we'd really be crying.
That'll really get us both. No, he's holding on to the car.
He doesn't know if he's gonna see him again.
Now, there's stuff that I just saw over the weekend. Was a giraffe and a puppy licking each other's faces. That gets to me 100%.
Animal Friends is a big viral thing.
Animal
If you have
Friends-
two interspecies friendship, is like one of the biggest things where you're like, this will go viral.
You're like, I can't believe a tiger is friends with a duck.
Look it. He carries them around everywhere with him. Oh my God, look at how cute that baby giraffe is. That's ridiculous. I want a baby giraffe.
Why can't they stay that way?
Thanks so much.
Let's see if Earl, because I don't see Earl as being the type of person who is moved by that. You know what I mean? Like, Earl's super fucking cool. Super cool. Is there a viral video that gets to you, Earl? Is there anything that ever gets to you like that makes you tear up a little bit?
I just saw one with the two kids.
Two kids.
There's a black kid and a white kid. Of
course, you're gonna go for
and
that.
they haven't. And apparently they're friends and they haven't seen each other, and they just start running towards each other.
Oh, that was in Brooklyn, I think.
Yeah, I do.
Or maybe Washington Heights. All right, so yeah, there it is. I remember this one now, Earl, and I loved it too.
I can't really take the sweetness of this video.
Look at this. These two little toddlers hugging each other in the streets of Manhattan. Maxwell and Finnegan running towards each other for a huge hug there. So the boys are both 2 years old. We're told that they've known each other for about a year. Maxwell's dad posted the video.
Now,
on Facebook.
here's the thing. If this wasn't like New York enough, the little black kid has two white gay dads. That's the part that made Earl cry.
I had to say to someone the other day, it was like, my daughter goes to school with a kid who's adopted, and it was like a circumstance like, you ever notice that like the dad is white and then there's another guy and he's Asian, like, but the kid is black? And it's like, yes, they're a couple. Oh, got it.
Right.
What did
Get
you think?
woke, motherfucker, like I am.
Yeah, fucking wake up.
Wake up, boomer.
You're fucking sleeping, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, out go the lights, you fucking old prick. This is why people age abuse. Because you're all fucking racist assholes. And I'm going to beat you and take your purse. How's that?
We can't wait until you get even older and weaker.
We're going to slap you in your fucking bed.
I'm not going to give you any of the sweets you want.
Speaking of sweets, was it Bob Ross fan that sent all that great stuff from
Yeah.
Yes.
How great is this? Is all these like old candies, like the
Oh.
root beer barrels, and then
What's the name of that place? Is the Vermont store? The
Vermont Country Store?
Yeah, I've been there before. And
all these old rainbow gems, hard candies.
yeah. They're nostalgia in real time. That's what
Right.
that store is. Like, this is a sweater made by an old lady. You're like, I'm going to put this sweater on, have some of this old candy, you know, and live on a nice farm next to lesbians and just really be part of this community. I love it up there.
Oh, it's so nice.
But here's the thing. I don't want to
Ridiculously
be up there in the winter. I like to be up there in the summer, and there's nobody there. You can just ride around by yourself
I used
in
to go
northern
up there
Vermont.
for Christmas, and it was very nice.
It
though.
was like you were like one of those Hallmark movies.
It really was, yeah.
But you know what I said when I was in there? Okay, boomer, nice sweater.
And boom
Great
goes the dynamite.
sweater. Boomer goes the dynamite. Am I right?
Hey, Susan in D.C.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy, Susan.
You guys are hysterical today.
Yeah, we are.
So, have you guys seen the video of the little boy who reads a thank you letter to his coach?
I don't think I saw
I've never
that.
seen this.
Oh my gosh! I don't even know if you Google it. It was really hot about 2 weeks ago, and the little boy starts crying as he's reading his thank you to the coach, and the coach just reaches out and gathers him into his arms, and everybody's crying. It's fantastic.
All right, we've got the video. We're gonna give it a try. Go ahead, Chris.
What's in here? The Avengers 2. A good coach can change a game. A great coach can change your life.
Look at the other side.
Coach Ray.
Thanks, buddy. Hold on, he's got a little note he wrote, you know. He wants to read it.
Dear Coach Richard, you have been the greatest coach of my life. I love you, Richard. I want you to show me your gym. You helped me love football again. Thank you for being my favorite coach. Love, Richard. That was so sweet.
I'm glad I wasn't up here because I'm a big crybaby, so.
Oh my God.
How'd that get you, Earl? Being a black coach accepted by a little white boy.
Does that mean anything to you?
Now you get that Obama does have a legacy. Do you get that?
Yes.
It's not over. That was a sweet one.
Oh my God.
You know, when I coached my baseball team, and they all came out and had my same sunglasses on. Remember that?
Yeah, that was really cute.
And I think they were pretending they were smoking cigars. And I'm like, you guys are unbelievable. But I'm sorry, I'm going to New York.
See you next season, Coach?
No,
Nobody.
No, probably never again. I don't know. Maybe someday they'll invent something called Facebook, and you can look for me, but I won't be on there either.
Hey, Chad in North Carolina.
Yeah, this one gets me every time. The little kid in the karate dojo trying to kick a board in two, and he can't do it, and all of his friends start cheering him on. He finally does it. They just explode. It's a good one.
I did see this when it came out. And
I don't
have
think
to
I saw
admit, I just felt like this kid was a failure.
Now fast. Hard and fast. Let's go, boy. Well,
he's crying because he
starting to
stinks
lose
at
it.
breaking boards.
Look at me. You have to hit it hard, though. You cannot hit it light. You have to hit it hard. Go.
Hit it hard.
That's not hard. You touch it.
We believe in you, Phoenix. Get your stance right.
Boomer, take it easy on him.
Finally.
Oh my God, they just pile on him. This is so cute.
Because they're all being trained to be contract killers.
Put him in a body bag, Phoenix.
I did it, everybody. I'm not the nerd kid. I'm a board breaker. Oh, that didn't mean anything to you because there was no black people in it?
Well, it was moving, but I wish I had a few more brothers in it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I feel the same way. Do you think Voss is a racist?
Do I think Voss? Never.
Really?
No.
You love to point out when people are racist.
Yes.
I mean,
I mean, my interactions with Voss have been nothing but good, and I've never seen anything that would remotely suggest that he's a racist.
Would you ever write Creeps with Kids plays your venue, 1129, the opening comic? Voss has a set that is 80% racist jokes, not just one or two, but many. It was disgusting. I hope you won't support such a racist act on your stage. Hashtag racism.
Hey, Mike in Missouri.
Yeah, talking about videos that make you cry. Anytime a kid asks their stepdad to adopt them, I just fall apart.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's like a surprise ask your stepdad.
Especially when these kids are like as big as Vito.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I can see if you were a little kid, you want to be adopted. All right, turn it up.
Brennan, I have so much fun with you. You are always there for me. And you're always nice to me. Unless you're hungry. LOL.
LOL.
Soda Pop Curtis.
You have invested time to teach me how to be a man. And to help me be the best that I can be. I know that it isn't always easy. I know I have a Father in heaven that loves me. But I'm thankful for you and the love and support that you give me every day. You are hard on me, but I know it's because you love me. And you want me to learn lessons and achieve great things someday. So, this Christmas, I want to ask you if I could be your only boy officially. Will you please adopt me?
And we're matching PJs.
Bear jumpsuits.
This is so Ron and Chris. I can't believe it.
I will, Chris. You fucking say it. I'll do it right now. You'll be my only boy. What is this, the adoption papers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
you served them.
We got it. We got it. I hope the dad says no. I really want I want to have my own biological son. Look, Vito's crying because he always wanted that.
Oh,
in his
you
life.
did. He did have a stepdad like that. When
Yeah.
He left you.
Yeah.
You know who else has always wanted that? It was Dan Soder. And Dan Soder would talk about just being mad at his mom for dating somebody and it not working out when he would want that guy to be his dad.
Oh, I can't take that.
And this happens to men too. You ever read the book About a Boy? It's about you're dating this chick and they have a kid, and then you start to love that kid and start to do things, and then that's the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's really hard and bad on everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so heartbreaking.
I hope this guy stays though.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think so.
Robert Kelly had a beautiful thing with his stepdad. His stepdad used to punch him in the stomach.
That's not so nice.
So he was like abused by his stepdad, physically abused. And then we turned it into sexual abuse. We said that when your stepdad sexually abused you. And he goes, it wasn't sexual, dude. And we go, you said abused. There's only one way to take that.
Yeah.
And then Florentine told the story about how he used to have to sit on a man's lap.
I've heard this story.
First row of wrestling. And then you find out that he was 15 at the time.
He would get some also just signed pictures.
Signed pictures of Larry Zabisco.
But it's strange because it was an exchange that he was somewhat aware of what he was doing. Like he was like, this was wrong, but I really did want this picture.
He was using that man. Florentine's at fault here.
A boy. That's...
No, Chris. Too far. You suck, Chris.
But a boy should not be naive at 15. I'm sorry. Like, you're naive in a way of, I didn't know that I'd get in long-term trouble for robbing a liquor store, not for sitting on a man's lap.
Susan in New Jersey.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
I know we're getting into the kids and human stories, but the ones that kill me are when they videotape the dog's last day. When they're going to have to put the dog down and they take him to his favorite places and they give him his favorite food and they drive around the car. Kills me.
I'm going to do that with Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I'm
Rod.
going to make your favorite day.
Tebow just did this. Did you see this?
He did that with his girlfriend.
Oh, look
is that
at Tebow's
Tebow
really
crying?
crying.
Yeah, here's Tebow crying with the dog on
No,
his
I
list.
can't take it. This is going to make me too sad.
That dog looks fine.
I know. Tebow's a monster.
He didn't have to kill this dog.
He's feeding him cheese. The dog loved cheese.
Probably would have killed him.
Yeah, it was a heart defect.
Blockage.
This dog found out that Tebow was not going to make the Mets.
Oh my God, it's so sad.
That's what the Mets should do with Tebow the last day of fucking camp.
He loved cheese.
And then Tebow puts up this, I think, kind of creepy picture of him Tebowing at the dog's grave in the dark. It's fucking weird.
Now, the other thing is, he puts a cross. Jesus did not die for the dog. Vito's crying like a baby, though. Vito, you crying?
Yeah, it's just really I just don't like seeing people watch their dogs die.
That looks like this. That light looks like the same spotlight from the patio theater.
Hey, they did the best they could.
Heart of the champion.
Why is he Tebowing? It's just really...
Because it means so much.
He's
that
giving
dog saw him
respect.
Tebow.
It's part of his brand.
It's fucking, it's throwback fucking Thursday. Sorry, I didn't make the Mets, little buddy. I'm doing college game day though.
There's a crybaby video that I been sending to people because it really fucked me up one morning.
You call it crybaby videos? That's fucking hilarious.
And it's Chris, I sent it to you. It's this little girl who just got a motorized wheelchair car, and then her friend who isn't disabled is helping her learn how to use it and be comfortable with it. Kids with disabilities really gets to me.
I love how brave those kids are.
No, I can't take this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, they're best
Show her
friends.
real. Oh my gosh, I love them so much.
Oh.
Abby, if she goes, be ready to get out of the way.
And me too. Oh boy.
Ruby! Oh, she's going around the cone. Good job.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Jesus.
Almost tragic, but very, very sweet.
This is great because it's like one child with a disability, the other able-bodied, and one's white, one's black.
It's got everything we ever want.
Everything you need in this one. Mickey in Massachusetts.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man.
So the one that still kills me, if you type in the man and the dog PSA for organ donation, you will hysterically cry the entire 35. It's not really good for radio. It is more visual, but you get I'm starting to tear up just talking about it because I haven't watched the video, but it's one of those. Check it out and enjoy.
All right, thanks, Mickey. We're gonna check it
I
out.
didn't get it. The organ donor.
Because they have to be married.
So,
Joke's on them. He's a bestiality loving dude.
stop it, Chris. You're ruining this. Spraying it on the dog. So the guy died.
I don't know.
Dog loves those organs.
See, like the dog loved what was on the inside as opposed to the outside.
Dude, why do you have to fucking ruin everything?
Dude,
okay?
seriously, you're a monster.
I'm not a monster.
You're
I'm not a monster.
deflecting is what you're doing.
I'm
You
not.
felt something, and now you're like, oh, how can I make a joke out of this? How about this is the joke, Chris? The fact that you can't let something in, all right? Let it in.
I'm just saying.
That dog fucking loves those organs so much. Now they're in a woman.
I feel like the dog loved
He
the.
knows his master's heart, and now he hears the heartbeat
You don't
again.
know if that was a heart in that
Of
lady.
course it was. What is going to be in there for a fucking kidney or a spleen?
And then maybe like a liver or eyes.
No,
You're saying that so you don't have to feel the feelings that you feel.
It's the
'Cause
fucking
A,
heart,
you don't have a
dude.
dog,
I don't.
and B, I think your girlfriend's probably pregnant right now.
What are you talking about? How the what?
I'm saying that
Why
I
would you
pray
even
every
think
night
that-
that she gets
You
pregnant.
pray every night? Jesus, Ron.
Yes, that's who I pray to. Now, Earl, would that have been better if it was black organs in a white body or white organs in a black body?
It would have made it a little bit better, right?
It would have hit me in the gut a little harder.
Yeah, but
They
because
know
it
they
was-
can get to us.
they're doing this on purpose.
Of course they
They're
are.
trying to hurt us. Susan in Massachusetts.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
The one that always gets me is when a service person comes home and their dog goes crazy.
Yeah, there's always like their dog is so happy to see them.
But here's the thing: the dog. They say the dogs don't understand time, right? But when you bring Birdie to be with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the first time she sees me, she goes crazy.
Right.
But then if I go out, I come back, she doesn't go as crazy. She's happy, but a little tail goes, but she's not jumping up on me like I can't fucking believe it. So she does know some kind of time.
Yeah, and there's a difference between her happiness when I come home from work versus like I just went to the store. Like it's not crazy, but she's happy, and then the next time she like barely gets off the couch. She's just like, "Hey, what's up?" Look
It's a
at
compilation.
Oh, yeah, just one after another. Dog's going crazy. There's
Look
somebody's
at
back
this-
from the service.
So it's like crying, so happy.
Can I just say something, though, about the military?
Yeah.
I don't think you should even be able to go into the military if you have a dog.
That's a good point.
'Cause
Why are you gonna leave these dogs
Yeah.
missing you so bad?
When people say they don't like dogs, right? It's because they've never been around a good dog.
Yeah, and all it takes is one good dog
Yeah.
to change your mind. People who they think that they don't have that in them.
Right.
You fall in love with the dog. That's
you fall
it.
in love with a dog.
Kate in Cincinnati.
Must love dogs.
Hey guys.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, so I was at the show in Chicago this weekend. It was fabulous.
You're fabulous. I'll just say that.
Yes. We had a great time. So it was a great weekend away for us.
Kate, can I just ask a question? Did you find Voss to be overly racist?
Overly.
No.
Just the
not
right amount of
overly.
racist.
I mean, it was just like the right amount of racism.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I heard the lady scream. I didn't hear what she said, but once you guys said that, I was cracking up. It was funny. It
I
was a great
literally
show, though.
opened
We had
up
an
with the
awesome
fact
time.
that he was called a racist because I was so happy
No.
about it.
It was like right in the first part that he was out there. I thought, right?
Yes, apparently she left 5 minutes into the show. She's writing to future theaters now.
I mean,
she's so mad at him.
I'm not trying to be shitty, but then can you really judge if it's 80% racist jokes if you only watched a couple minutes?
Right, maybe it was 80% at the beginning, but
Right.
maybe it was 10% of the entire set that he
Exactly.
did. That's a good point, Gail. You make a great fucking trial lawyer.
Thanks.
Chris, you know what? You
Yeah,
make
it
a
was a
great
great show.
What's that?
father.
I don't think so.
Do
Ron.
it.
The only way you know
Yeah.
is to try.
I don't want to. Don't want to try to be a father.
How about foster fathers? See if you catch on to it.
I think that would be fun. No,
That's like a
I'm
gateway
not,
baby,
I'm
you know?
not. I'm not equipped to deal with all these fucked up kids coming through the foster
Oh, you're not
system.
equipped like physically? Like
No, I
you
mean
shoot blanks, you mean?
I probably, but just to like deal with their problems, the children.
Okay.
Kate, what's your crybaby video?
So I get sucked into like
a time warp with these videos. Like they just like keep popping up new suggestions. But what gets me are when the lost dogs get reunited and like kids are freaking out, they're crying, I'm crying for them, like their dog was lost and they're bringing them home and they're videotaping the whole reunite, getting reunited with their dog. It's, oh my gosh, that one gets me.
Dogs
every
don't
time.
forget.
They don't.
I know.
They really don't. Dude, I can't take this kind of stuff.
Chris is just watching some kind of video game
You guys,
battling.
I make it really sad when Fortnite players die.
Oh, look at this good dog.
You're deflecting again, Chris. That's your problem.
Why can't you feel?
Yeah, let it in, dude.
There's this. Why is there video games playing? There's
Because you think it's cool, man.
There's this one fucking website called the Dodo that specializes in these animal fucking cry videos, but their thing is they'll find a dog that's all messed up and abused and see, oh man, this dog's on its way out, and then they'll like shoot a video of it like being healthy and happy like fucking 3 months later.
Oh man,
That
I
sounds
saw
great.
one once where it was like this matted up little dog, and the guy just takes it in and like just rehabilitates it. It's too much, man.
I wish somebody would think of me as a guy who really rehabilitates dogs and teaches them to be nice. I wish I had that reputation.
Hey, Ted in Wisconsin.
Hey, Bennington.
Hey.
The one that gets me is someone watching The Time Traveler's Wife, Mr. Bert Kreischer. I think it was on Jim and Sam he did it. He just starts fucking bawling, and I don't care about the movie at all, but watching Bert just makes me well right up.
All right, let's see if we can watch. This
Let's
looks,
try to find
yeah.
this.
Turn it up a little bit so we can hear. We want to be part of it.
You gotta tell us the story. There's two things I don't talk about. I don't talk about the time traveler's wife and this dream.
The time traveler.
Dude, if you get me talking about the time traveler's wife, I will start fucking crying. Like it
Bert's
is
a sensitive guy.
Yes, yeah.
Have you seen it?
You saw it.
I don't know.
It's
Why
been
do
out for how long now?
It's been out forever.
I feel like
Yeah.
we've talked about this before.
I don't know. Did I cry?
All right, talk about it a little bit.
Oh no, I'll start fucking crying.
That's okay if you cry.
There's a moment.
This is a new show. You can cry on this show.
I have when he starts crying.
On the old one, you had to hold it in.
Let's see.
On the big screen, please.
Wow, you're already crying.
Oh shit. They're already losing it.
Oh, that's an ugly cry face.
Yeah.
Brad.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had a nice cry face.
Oh yeah. This is rough. It's rough. Oh shit.
Sensitive heart.
What is this? You're 9? And your mom still leaves clothes?
She says you never know. You remember Max and Rosa, don't you? Gomez's kids.
Wow.
You're so grown up.
Run back to the house, you guys. Tell Mommy's here. Tell her to come. Let's go. Wait up.
How old was the kids
All right.
when he died?
Chris, I've never seen
Bert.
you cry like that. I'd like
No,
to see you
I
get
don't-
to that level of sensitivity.
I don't think I can
You,
insinuate.
would you promise me this?
Yes, Ron.
You're flying back from Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, flying back.
Download Time Traveler's Wife and watch it on the plane.
Okay.
Because
I will.
we brought this up before. You will cry on a plane. Now, I'm on a plane yesterday. I have a pretty bad movie that I'm watching. And I'm leaned over watching it. And it's about a Pakistani boy who lives in England who's totally loves Bruce Springsteen. It's based on a true story. It's very cheesy. And I'm watching it as he's like letting this music get to him. And I literally could see a tear form and fall. And I watched it hit my jacket and go down. I wasn't crying, but my right eye just would drop this. And then I got interested, like, wow, I don't think it's like the biggest teardrop I've ever had. Something about a plane makes you very sensitive to things.
Yeah. For me, it was a movie called My Sister's Keeper, which is about a little girl who has cancer and like her family all rallies behind her. Okay. It's a very cheesy movie. It's not a good movie. And I watched it on a plane, cried hysterically sitting between two coworkers, and it was very embarrassing to the point that they actually had to be like, "Are you okay?" I had to take off my headphones, and they're like, you're clearly very upset.
You know, I don't know what it is, but I love when people are moved by something. You know, like when I'm with Florentine and people come up and talk to him about some of the metal bands, and I'm like, oh, it's so sweet that they have that in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I don't share that with them, and that's how I felt. I don't know the name of this movie. I'll send somebody to the prize closet. It's not that old. It's like a couple months old. But this guy, this Pakistani kid, he loved the shit out of Bruce Springsteen. So much it made him stand up for himself because he felt like he was in a Jersey town in England.
Right.
You know?
So
and I always love when somebody, like, especially when you're a kid and you find that thing that really moves you. Like, I remember the first time that you got crazy about a band, it was Sublime.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, can I just play this song for you? You know what I mean? She was so little. She was like, can I just play this song so you understand? And, you know, she's like, she didn't have anything going on, you know, except for her 7 horny brothers and her fucked up dad. And I'm like, yeah. That's not easy what she's going through. Earl, who was that for you? Who was the band that made you feel like a grown up for the first time?
Living Color. They were the first.
I mean, that was get sad when people say the same thing over and
no,
over.
but I mean, that was the first band that was mine. You know what I mean? It wasn't my sister's bands. It wasn't my father's bands. Like for me as a kid, Ray Charles and Fats Domino just leveled me.
Until you got to Living Color. How did your family feel about you and your Living Color obsession?
They were kind of weirded out about it, but they always thought I was weird anyway. So either, you know, being a rock guy, but then my father was like, you know, rock and roll. He was always into rock and roll started by black people anyway. He hates Elvis. So
your dad?
Yeah, he hated Elvis.
How does he feel about Jerry Lee Lewis? I mean, at least Jerry Lee was writing his own music.
He dug Jerry Lee because he was a big, well, until he got busted for the prostitutes. He was a big Jimmy Swaggart fan, and they were cousins, apparently. They are?
They weren't prostitutes he was with, Jerry Lee. That was his own cousin, his 13-year-old cousin. Yeah. And he married her. That's how much he loved her.
Hey, Doug in Virginia.
Hey, Bennington.
Hey, Doug.
One, Sublime was really good, but mine was Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good.
Ron, the movie you were thinking of is Blinded by the Light.
Blinded by the Light. That is it. Pretty good prize closet.
Yeah, Doug.
Hopefully we have something by Smashing Pumpkins in there for you.
Yeah, I hope so.
What was that one album that the Pumpkins had?
Melancholy?
Yeah. What's the name? Oh.
Like little Gertie crying in that too. It's just like
little Gertie crying.
It's just too much, and her older brother's like holding her. It's just so sad.
Is this where the thing where Brad Pitt couldn't bring it back, but had to cut his heart out and bring it back in a jar?
I think so.
To bury it in Montana. That made me cry too.
Chris is farther like
he doesn't know. Chris has
you've never seen it?
Not in a long time.
I've never seen it.
Wait, stop acting like you're a cowboy, dude. Nobody's impressed with you and your masculinity.
Yeah.
Not in a long time, little one.
Hey, Paco. It's been a long time since I watched E.T.
Paco, I guess you and I are going to ride these rails alone.
Chris's isn't even the sad part. It's after this.
Jesus Christ, Chris.
Why do you not remember? Hey, Lisa.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Lisa?
Amazing show on Saturday, Ron.
Thank you,
Amazing. I the entire time, second I sat down.
Yes. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. You guys are so funny. And I hope you guys decide to come back to Chicago at some point because I have a lot more people that would want to see you.
Well, that's what we're going to come by for a house party at your place, Lisa. It would be great.
We'll have anything you want there, believe me.
All right. Thank you so much. Just the
you
way
are very welcome.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking the whole time
I was
there, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about it too.
You didn't bring it up?
Mm-mm. Nope, I didn't want to. Because it made me feel like I was watching one of these videos. Heartbreaking.
When I got out there, go ahead and say what it was, 'cause I can't.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I know that that Janice would have been there for that show, and it would have been, your first time meeting her, and I wish so much that that could have happened.
I was telling Wolfie that story. I couldn't even make it through.
Yeah. Man, that was the best. I mean, we were just talking about, everybody coming out to these creep shows and, anytime that we get a chance to meet everybody. But honestly, like, to me, one of the coolest things that came through this show was everybody writing about Janice, and that was like the sweetest thing in the world, and how much that meant to her family, and all the cool things that everybody wrote about her and what she meant, and her amazing laugh, and that really was a very touching thing everybody did.
I got really jealous of one of the people who write nice things about my laugh and some of the things I do. And then I came in here today. I'm going to be honest. I felt like I want to show you guys this video that I love so much. I felt like Vito tried to destroy it and act like everything's tense around
That's
here.
his age, He's like a teen.
I felt like he took something from me that I kept all weekend. I'm like, the guys are going to be so happy to see this. And then I looked around at this present, and there's Vito just sitting over it, shitting, shitting down.
Oh God, that's the worst type of shit.
Squatting over
Is
it.
it?
Like
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know that you graded shit.
Watermelon. in the
solid is
infinite
what I
Look
like.
at
shithole.
that crowd.
It's
These are your
fantastic.
fans, guys.
Yeah.
These are fans of the show. What a fucking crazy look this whole venue is. And Chris,
Yeah.
smoking in the green room.
I
Look
love
at
that.
us.
That's
I
so
know.
fucking cool. That's what I've always wanted.
So you're gonna love this. So it's in Chicago. They have like Bobby brought it up, but there's like you go across an alley and there's this thing that's kind of like an apartment house, and we're in there
Okay.
as the original green room, and we're all they're like it's cool to smoke in here, guy, enjoy yourself, and we're like okay, and then they're like, we used to run poker games in here until it got robbed, and
This place is awesome.
so I go, how much did they get? And the guy's like, I don't know, $50,000-$60,000. They came in and robbed. This is the fucking level of poker game
Wow.
that's
shit.
running in that place. And I'm like, I would have fucking robbed you for $60,000.
Yeah.
I'd have killed everybody in the room. And they're like, we think it's an inside job. And we're like, it's always an inside job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody tips these fuckers off.
How else could it be?
They know exactly what to come in for, exactly what to leave with.
Hey Jay in Ontario.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, Jay?
I think an underrated performance by Tom Cruise was in Magnolia, over his dying father's bed as his father just is about to die. I mean, I can't watch the scene without crying, no matter how many times I've watched that movie. I've watched it a ton. But I've watched my female friend, any female friend that's watched the movie with me, I kind of look to see if they're getting the same reaction, and they just don't. They almost don't even get why it hits me so hard, but I think it's a father-son thing, maybe.
Well,
but,
it's the disconnected father-son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's the father that you never connected with, and
Right.
so you're saying goodbye to something that, couldn't be. But the song, Amy's fucking song to this day, you can just see on the. And I always think that that's in Magnolia, even though you can't see it. I always pick up Guardian Angels
That's
in
interesting.
Magnolia because all these people are in such a terrible, suffering place.
Yeah, every one of them is, and all of them are kind of in a lonely place too.
Right. But why do you think suffering is so important to the human? That like you don't get outside of suffering in this place.
No, and that's like the thing is like it could drive you crazy because I think honestly, when you're crying because something is happy, how like in truth that's I read a thing it was like you cannot cry because something is happy. You're crying because you know the weight of existence. You know that this is a moment you get to be happy. But you're thinking of all the things that weren't happy before this and how this moment is going to slip out of your fingers.
Sure.
And, I wish somebody who's passed could see this thing. There's all these things, even if you can't put them into words, that's what brings you to tears in a happy moment. Like, even in your happiest moment, it's the weight of tragedy that you're carrying.
I think
that
that
makes you emotional.
happiest cry I'm going to have is the day Chris is bringing his baby home from the
There's no
hospital.
baby coming.
And then he goes like this. This baby is named Ronnie.
Oh my God, Chris! I thought you were gonna name him Chris Jr.
There's no children.
What do you mean? There are children.
For
and you're
me.
gonna have one.
No, yet. Obviously, this didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a surprise. You're gonna.
This is
know.
going to be the best Christmas.
What?
Yeah, the baby's due on Christmas
How
Day.
did this happen?
Oh
How
my
this happened?
God.
You don't even know?
I think
Looks
you
like
should
I
name
better
him
have to talk with Chris, huh?
Ronnie B. Christmas Stanley. That should be the name.
Creeps with Kids. We're having our first drop-in special guest. Shane Gillis is going to be joining us. And Harrisburg, you better fucking be as good as Chicago. That's all I'm saying.
That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, and I know you're going to be filled with turkey. We're going to be where, Chris?
At the Whitaker Center in Harrisburg, PA, this Friday, November 29th. Creepstour.com for tickets. And on Saturday, November 30th, the Union County PAC in Rahway, New Jersey. Again, creepstour.com for tickets.
All right, so it's Union County. That's the name of it.
Union County PAC.
I'm going to open up this. I am a lineman for Union County.
By the way, that song makes me cry. And for whatever reason, that song was stuck in my head just after my daughter was born. So I was singing it to her a lot and playing it.
Really?
And now
That's odd.
I know. And so, like, I always associate that.
All right,
that
a
song.
million people have done this song, and I like every single version.
So good. Yeah.
Don't get a movie or a novel written about,
Right.
but this guy's heart is so filled and
Yeah.
so poetic.
Doggy. Hey, Rich in Pittsburgh.
Hey, Gail.
Hey, how's it going,
Hi,
Rich?
Ron.
Hey, buddy.
Loved you guys in Pittsburgh.
Can I tell you something? Voss was saying he thought, I will never be able to put Pittsburgh out of my mind. And I literally always go, oh, I hope the Steelers are having a good day today because those people in Pittsburgh were so great to us. It fell. How did he drop?
Oh, how?
So he said the Stone Temple Pilots version of this?
Yeah, I think that's what he was.
With Glenn Campbell? Is this from the movie?
I'm not sure.
Hey, Boomers.
I think Chris could record this and do a great job.
But making it about the creeps?
Yeah. I really hope you guys are going to do Wichita.
Rich Voss is quite the racist.
And I screamed, you suck. Hey, John in Kansas.
Yeah, we have a new minor league team coming next spring, and one of the names they floated was the Wichita Linemen, and I was just hoping they'd go with it, but they didn't.
Those assholes.
Oh, man.
They could have made
I
the
know.
entire
We
team
could've-
sing it every time somebody hit a home run.
I know. I would love to see the logo. It would be so cool.
Yeah.
It was like two guys climbing a pole.
Love it.
Just like life. Just like life.
Hey, Rick in Iowa.
Hey, check out Freedy Johnson, one of the best Wichita linemen there was.
All right, let's check this out. Let's see how Freedy does. We said up to this point, never once have we disliked this song. Oh, it's live. McCabe's Guitar Shop.
It comes down to
Jimmy Webb.
Mm-hmm.
You're caught in the web, is what I always like to say. I'm going to do a podcast called You're Caught in the Web. And it'll just be about Jimmy Webb songs that work no matter who's singing them.
And I think you should open with Walking in the Spider Webs. Not Wichita lineman.
That's surprising to me. Earl, you've never been a Jimmy Webb fan.
Why?
Well, I love Jimmy.
He talks bad about him every day in the office.
Hold on. That reaction
Yeah.
is like, it doesn't even seem like someone your age should have had
No.
that.
You know what it was?
Prospector.
Why would you say it, son?
It's just like you woke up Grandpa and he was sleeping. Whoa.
What now? What now? Say what now?
You kids stay away from me. I love Jimmy Webb. Okay, Boomer.
Can I call you Boomer?
You know, little known fact, Earl was born 2 years before the baby boomers. Earl's what you would call very short, only 4 years, a war baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
He was born during the war. As the shells fell, his mom had to push him out. Down in the lower part of England there. I'm not sure exactly even what town it was. It was a different time. That's why you could hear a slight English accent when Earl cries, because when he was a baby, he learned to cry like an Englishman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Earl, what's your favorite part of the entire English Empire?
Part of the.
Yes, part of it.
Part of the.
Part of the English Empire, not the entire thing. I would say just the whole thing, because I love Jimmy Webb. Jimmy.
What now?
What? Yeah, you kids get out of here. Now, by the way, Cash and his wife come up during the next Unmasked with a Mr. Dan Soder. This is how crazy our lives are right now. I should be celebrating the Thanksgiving show. I should be celebrating the Creeps. I should be celebrating the Unmasked with Dan Soder, which is one of the sweetest, funnest nights for me, because Dan was having his own kind of emotional thing of remembering being young and listening to Unmasked with Patrice.
Yeah.
And now he was getting his Unmasked. You know what I mean? Like, it had nothing to do with me. It was just another thing of this year that he's having. And then, we got into some things about his special, because I brought up, like myself, he's a deflector. And, of course, Chris Stanley.
Yes.
The man who, when he did cry, people thought was fake.
Which is bullshit, because those are real tears.
He cried like this.
It's pretty similar. Can you say it now? Because I was listening that day. Were you faking it or not?
I was not faking it.
Can I tell you something?
That was real emotion,
I'm
Ron.
carny enough to love when somebody says I was faking.
Oh, God. I wasn't faking the fucking tears.
Because I still feel like I haven't heard or seen you cry, and I've listened. I was listening that day, so
cry very often.
Immediately when Chris did it, I was like, what is he trying to get out of me now? Because everything with you is a work, my friend.
I was not working, everyone.
Let's go to your best friend in the whole world, Vito Calise.
Okay.
Vito.
He's not. He's working.
Do you believe that Chris Stanley cries, yes or no?
No, I don't think so at all.
Even when he goes 0-3?
Even when he goes 0-3, I think he's never really had an honest tear in his life.
So that was a fake that day.
No, you're just going by Vito. He's
Why
full of
would
shit.
you go 0-3 again, dude? You promised me we're going to start winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to start winning.
You owe us every hair on your body.
Yeah.
That we have every right to dry shave you.
Yeah.
For what you did.
This is going to be a Brazilian.
This
Chris.
has been a really bad NFL betting season, and on top of a troubled life.
You can't even pick one win.
Oh, and that's all you can do, you fucking
It's
fuck.
better than no wins.
Look, let me just say this to the Packers fans who called you a jinx. I think it's impossible to literally jinx somebody. But I do think it's possible to be so bad at something that you see all the signs and then you go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like Chris is the type of person who would try to build a house in front of a sign that said thin ice. He would sit there and start hammering into the
This
thin
is kind
ice.
of interesting. So it's not necessarily a jinx, but it's similar to the way that they say that you're better off turning out the lights if you're driving towards a drunk driver, because like instead of avoiding what they see, they'll drive towards it. So that's like you see the spread, and
Yeah, I see it.
instead you go towards the wrong answer because that's just what you
Look,
gravitate
I
towards.
guess the 49ers
Tragedy.
are for real. All right. I guess their defense is pretty good. All right. I don't know how Kyler Murray puts up more points than fucking Aaron Rodgers. Whatever. All right. It was a bad week.
But you say
After
it's a bad
plenty
week.
of bad weeks. Yes,
Yeah,
it's been a string of bad weeks.
Yeah.
It's fucking sucks. Okay.
I would like to somehow get a compilation of every time Chris goes, but we're turning around this week, baby. Like, it's like every week. That's how he starts it off, where he's like, last week was bad, but this week
Look,
we're turning it around.
I'm letting everyone down. I'm letting Bob Seger down. I'm letting fucking the fans down. I'm letting you guys down. I'm letting
I used
everyone
to
down
like
with this
that
band.
song.
I still do like the song.
It makes me think of tragedy, though.
Yeah.
I got to admit, and I love you, but watching you pick is the same as watching you try to fuck a fire plug. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Just saying.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to end up hurting your dick.
Yeah, it's
At the
gonna,
end of the
gonna fuck my dick up, Ron.
You're gonna fuck it off.
Gonna mangled, charred dick.
Why would it be charred?
By the way,
Fine
Brad
plug.
Shelton just wrote,
It's-
Earl is a fan of Spud
water.
Webb. I'll say this, I'm a fan of Spud Webb.
Wasn't he the dunking champion one year?
Do you know what, Earl, to take the extra little thing that's just obvious to any Spud Webb fan and act like you've come up with a piece of history that's unknown to people, you should do a web series called The Obvious Fact, you know? Just be like, many people don't know this, but the Constitution was written down on paper.
Huh.
Paper. So remember that the next time you're drawing on paper, the Constitution was written on the same thing. What are you wiping your eye for over there?
No, I just got a thing in my head.
What do you mean?
A thing in your head?
My head just started like right here.
Are you okay?
Just started throbbing. I'm fine.
Like an aneurysm?
No.
Are you bleeding out of
Okay.
your ear?
The thing
Your
is,
eyes closing.
everybody should focus on me now, but we're all looking at this
Oh.
kid who you act like he's dying. And that's what he does. He's like, oh, Ron's getting some attention.
It's not.
Let me act like my eye
He
won't
does-
open
That's the
anymore and I'm
age.
having a stroke.
He does
The
that every
age,
time.
Ron.
Earl, when,
Look, give it to Boomer. Let Boomer have a taste.
Earl, when are you gonna start your Spud Webb series?
What? Hello, small whale. That I could use a small vacation. I'm so glad we don't have to break anymore.
No, we have to. We have to break one more time.
What are
we
you
have
talking
to.
It's too late to break.
It's not
If we
too
were
late
gonna
to break.
Gail
Take
would
it
throw
to
us
the
to break.
limit.
No, we have to.
Gail would already throw us to break.
Gail, please.
In Indiana.
Hey, Gail, what's happening?
What's up, Justin?
Hey, I just wanted to talk to Ronnie B about what he thought about that theater we were at Saturday night.
I was telling the guys all about it. There's a video up that you might like to. Bobby Kelly's friend Toby put it together, and it's really, really stunningly cool.
Yeah, I saw him jockeying around. I just wanted to say, you guys put on for 4 headliners. That's the show everybody got. And as shitty as that theater was, the vibe between you guys and the crowd, I had a kick-ass time, Ronnie. And it's an honor to talk to you, buddy. I love you.
Thank you very much. And we were saying that we really enjoyed the aspect of the theater. That
Yeah.
was the stuff that you had to go over to get to that.
Seems a little punk rock, right?
Yeah.
Like
We're going to be in Harrisburg Friday night. And I have to tell you, I'm going to put this on Shane Gillis since this is his hometown.
Mhm.
Harrisburg has to have the same vibe.
Yes, it must. I think Harrisburg. Go ahead and watch this video of Chicago.
So
Study
you know
up.
how to, you know how to act. And at least one person has to say that Voss is a racist.
Please.
Really looking forward to Friday night, Harrisburg, and then Saturday night in Rahway, New Jersey. And then that's it. We shut down the first leg of the Creeps tour. And to say that it's been anything but fun, well, that's literally besides the point. Also this week, for the first time ever, we're releasing the video of the Thanksgiving show.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is so exciting. We've never had this before.
No,
so
never.
It's going to be available through the app.
Now, I haven't seen it. Gail, you saw it. You said you couldn't believe the editing job,
Yeah,
right?
they did such a great job. That's such a quick turnaround. And, for the length of the show that we just did, it's like somebody just edited a movie
yeah,
in like
whole movie.
a week.
Let's get a hold of the editor or the director or somebody and talk to them
Yeah.
tomorrow. Let's go to Jake in Illinois. Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, back to Earl's obvious facts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Constitution was not written on paper. It was on what they call parchment, which is treated animal skin, generally used with sheep.
God damn it, Earl. Put
Earl,
him
yeah.
in a pretty good prize closet.
Good job, Jake. Earl, that's your first fact was wrong?
Now, here's a new game that I was inventing, where I was paying. Everybody get a pen.
Okay.
Earl, you're going to play this. All of us will play it together.
Okay.
It's called greater than or less than, and you get to use one equal a game.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you this. Wilco and REM. Wilco and REM. Greater than, less than, or the odd equal. Gail, you first.
Greater than, less than, equal to. It's like that old speak and spell. I am going to say that Wilco is less than REM.
Wow, Chris Stanley.
Wilco less than REM.
Okay, boomers. What about you, Earl?
I'm going to defy the odds here and say equal.
Nope.
Huh?
Equal.
It's only one or the other, I feel.
This is
You
not.
get to use one a show, and you're using it right away.
He blew it.
Yeah.
And of course, less than, and you went wasted your equal.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
And an obvious one to me.
George Carlin and I got to figure out who I'm going to put up it. Richard Pryor.
Okay.
George Carlin and Richard Pryor.
Spoiler alert, you can just flip yours around. You don't have to keep drawing new signs. Okay.
What do you got?
I'm going
Gail?
to say George Carlin greater than Richard Pryor.
Wow.
Yep.
Controversial.
It
Earl.
Saying George Carlin less than.
Do you wish you still had your equal?
Yeah, I bet you do,
No.
because that was
No,
one I
no.
considered using.
Me too.
George Carlin greater than
Oh!
Richard Pryor.
Oh. It's a
Now-
race war up in here.
That's right. I know what side
Obviously,
I'm on.
Richard Pryor had the impact. George Carlin had the longevity.
Mhm.
So then I had to think to myself, on and off heavy drugs. And I never saw that Pryor could really do it off heavy drugs.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm giving George Carlin a greater than
All right.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor. It's a tough call, though. I would have used the equal if this thing was more tied up.
I thought about it too.
And I want to save my equal. I don't
I'm-
want to be like,
There's no way I would have used it so fast.
Yeah.
No, you got to hold that.
all right, I'm going to say the Boston Celtics and the New England Patriots. Great question. This is a great game. I'm very proud of it. Gail.
This is tricky, but I'm gonna say Boston Celtics less than the Patriots.
Okay. Earl.
I'm going to say greater than the New England Patriots.
I'm saying Celtics greater than the Pats.
I'll say this: Boston Celtics more fucking championships,
Yes.
more than anybody in basketball history. The Pats did it at a time where it's more difficult to get there. When you see teams like the Rams go up to the top, fall. Eagles go up to the top, fall. Falcons go up right there, fall. It's impossible. The Patriots, 17 years in a row with 10 wins in their season. The Celtics are less than.
Yes.
Less than.
Yes.
I knew I
And we
fucked up.
tie. And we tie.
This is exciting.
I love this game. I love this game. All right. Creeps with Kids.
Okay.
And let me think. The Kings of Comedy.
Okay.
Creeps with Kids.
Yeah.
And the Kings of Comedy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I have my answer.
You, Tim.
The Creeps of the Kids greater than the Kings of Comedy.
Earl?
Greater than.
I'm going greater than.
Okay, and I said less than because I'm not afraid of me.
I'm not afraid.
And the difference is the Kings of Comedy did not have a racist as the MC.
Yes.
I'm surprised Earl went anti-black. I'll be
This
honest.
for his first time ever.
I thought the Kings of Comedy had a weak link.
Voss?
No, the Kings of Comedy had a weak link.
No, I know. I was joking.
I'm sorry.
Who do you got? Who's the weak link?
I thought.
You say Bernie Mac and I'll come through there and I'll kill you.
It's certainly
I
not.
honestly thought Cedric was the weak link.
Let me tell you something. I did an unmask with Cedric before. And that fucker is so funny saying nothing. Like he doesn't need a punchline to be hilarious. And I can only think of a couple other performers. There's a couple other performers you couldn't even steal a joke from. And I think Nate Bargatze is one of them. That he says things so funny. And his attitude is so funny. And I'm laughing and I'm like, is this even a joke or just a story about your friend? I don't know. It's got to be a joke. Why am I laughing? All right. I like less than or greater than, or is greater than or
Greater
less
than, less
Greater
than.
than, less than, equal.
I think there was some sort of weird speak and spell that used to say it really.
Really?
Weird.
Let's
Yeah.
try to find it for the big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also going to be the worst Tuesday, 12:03. I can't believe it's December already.
Yeah.
And that's with Yamanika Sanders, Stavi Baby, and of course Big J Okerson
Oh, that'd be great.
hosting. I got to figure out a good worst story.
Mm-hmm.
I may go and tell the appendix story. Never really told it on stage.
Yeah.
I've only told it on the radio, never told it on stage. Yamanika's going to have something fucking great. All her shit is the worst. And the train conductor says. So, Thanksgiving show this week. Chris is also going to release the entirety of the Thanksgiving show.
Yes.
And let's see if they want to bring the director in tomorrow for a couple of minutes, or the editor. So I know somebody had to work hard on that. You were very impressed with the editing.
Yeah, I think that they did a fantastic job.
What did your husband think? Because I know he's a professional editor.
Yes, he was very impressed. He thought he did great.
You know, Bobby keeps talking about wanting an editor to look at this thing. 9 times I've started to mention Jack's name and bite my tongue. Because I think to myself, this could only turn out bad for me. I mean, it could turn out great because I know Jack does great work and
Yeah.
Bobby likes great work, but Bobby's also very demanding
Yeah.
and he's obsessive.
True.
You think it's a bad idea then?
No, I don't, actually.
Concerns me. It really does. Because I will get involved in, and that'll be bad all the way around. I can't let people work things out themselves. You know, that's why I keep jumping into this Chris Vito problem that happens all the
you
time.
have
really,
to.
it's ugly.
You're always breaking those two apart.
I heard somebody say this, that you always end the show with a good thing, Earl, a good song.
Yes.
I never get to hear it because he drops it out so fast.
You know, he wants to stamp out others' achievements.
Why don't I know that?
I thought you did. I was just turning the point down.
How
Give
would
us
I
silence.
know? I can't hear.
All right.
How do I know that he ends with a great song? Like today, what's the song going to be, Earl?
Today's song is going to be Games People Play by the Spinners.
Because we just were talking about games. This I zero know.
All right, that's my fault.
Can I find
Obviously.
out, like, it's like what happened in the past, like other things?
Do you know, Earl?
I think, was it last week we did... God, I can't think off the top of my head.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
I could kill you, Chris.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. I mean
I'm going to
punish
take
me,
a
but
knife
don't kill
and
me.
kill you. Can I punish you with a knife?
Knife punishment.
Well, there's something I wanted to talk about today, too, and we don't have time, do we?
We don't.
Well, remind me tomorrow a movie called A Time to Kill.
A Time to Kill.
Mm-hmm. That's it for us. I guess that's the games people play. See you guys tomorrow.
Peace.